welcome to Big Boof Bets, Get Dat Money podcast. It's week 6. This is Nate Stephenson. I'm joined by Mr. Big Boofy Scureman. How you doing, Boof?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm not doing too bad. Last week was interesting, to say the least. Locks
took another hit.
hit a little iffy. I mean, we had one that was good. I'd say one that was really, really bad. And one that was, it lost, but I'd call it a bad beat, but a loss is a loss. And, you know, we're not going to beat around the bush with that.
Yeah, we don't live in the hypothetical around here.
All right, Mr. Tomlin. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, man. The Browns are in lock jail, I think, for temporarily here, man. We've gotten burned twice on having the.
Yeah, that would have been the bad one. The Steelers-Ravens under 44 was, we feel, was a bad beat.
That's a roughing the passer call.
A rough in the passer call.
Away from a cover, but under there.
Let the Ravens get a field goal and send it to overtime.
Ugh.
Then the Broncos plus 6.5 did hit. They actually won the game.
Broncos actually won. Yeah, actually,
props to you on that. I know you had them on the money line.
Indeed, sir. Indeed, very nice payout. Plus 220 on that, I believe.
Yeah, very nicely done on that.
Indeed.
But overall for the season, that makes the locks 8-6. And we're gonna be looking to get that percentage back up where we like it.
Indeed, that's with no further ado, let's get rolling on week 6 here.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna start with the Thursday night game. Since we're actually doing it on a Wednesday, we can actually hit the Thursday night game in again. Thank God work cooperated.
Yeah, very exciting.
Get the Thursday night game, which I'm very excited about this Thursday night game. We got the Giants plus 17 traveling up to New England. Total is 42. But there's so much I love about this game. I mean, there are bets galore. I
like the Patriots to roll. I mean, they're talking about bad weather. We got injuries for the Giants at all the skill positions on offense. You got a great Patriots defense still here. I personally love the under 42. Barkley's out. Evan Ingram is out. Sterling Shepard is out. We got Daniel Jones making his third start going up against Billy Belichick's defense here.
On a short week.
Yep. And the defense has only given up 2 touchdowns now, and last week's was a little fluky. It was actually on a reverse, and New England kind of had him tackled. It was just basically a missed tackle.
I mean, really should have
took it to the house. I mean, it really should have been like a no gain, and they missed a tackle, and dude took it to the house. And then New England didn't give up a point the rest of the game. So their defense is still rolling, and I think it will continue to roll in this one. The weather report is calling for like 20-mile-an-hour winds. It's supposed to rain. I love under 42. That is in my top 5, and we're kicking it off on a Thursday with the top 5 pick. I also like the Patriots minus 17 and the Giants team total under 10.5. If you're more comfortable with either of those, I do like those as well.
I am on board with all of those things. Again, under 42 with, even if you didn't have bad weather. I mean, I would love under 42, but you add in the bad weather element. I
think the bad weather kind of helps, slow New England down a little. Hopefully.
Well, agreed. I mean,
I already feel very comfortable that the Giants will be slowed down.
Well, I mean, New England's a run-oriented team more so this year than they have been. I mean, honestly, since their early Super Bowl years. I mean, really.
Yeah, they kind of transitioned to that a little bit last year, especially towards the second half of the year.
Indeed.
Like especially once like Gordon was removed from the team. Mm-hmm. Now he's obviously back with them this year, but
yeah,
they have been more run focused. I agree.
I mean, no matter what, I think under 42 is a great bet. The weather, like I said, just adds to that, and then on top of that, like you said, with the Giants' injuries and the Patriots' dominance minus 17, I rarely like to give that many points in an NFL game, as I've said many times over in our podcast, but I still think you can feel fairly safe with that. The only thing that can bring that into question a little bit is the bad weather, of course, but I think that's also the safest bet is the under 42. The second safest is hard to believe you call it the 17-point safe, but is the 17 points with the Patriots. And then also, like I said, like Boof said, the 10.5 points for the Giants is also an interesting an interesting individual bet in and of itself because the Patriots haven't given up more than one touchdown in one defensive touchdown in any game this season. The only game they gave up more than 10 points was when they gave up 14 to the Jets, and that was when they threw the backup quarterback in there for a pick six, and then he immediately got taken right back out of the game. So the defense itself has not given up more than 10 points. So, I mean, under 10.5 for the Giants, with everything we've said, I think that is also a really, really good bet. You even have the extra buffer of if something bad happens, you're still good. I think
field goals will be harder with the weather.
Agreed. So, I mean, I think we've beat this horse enough, just like the Patriots are going to beat the Giants in every possible way. Take all those bets and be happy. And under 42 is, again, we are starting off the week with a lock on a Thursday, baby. Lock it in.
Let's get that money.
Get that money. Get that money. All right, we're moving on to Sunday. We have a early London game this week, 9:30 Eastern start, 6:30 a.m. if you're watching in the West Coast. No way I'm getting up for that.
That actually might be great with the way I get up, but
we have been texting to like 7 a.m. on bets on Sundays. That's true. I'd be like, wake up,
That might actually be my ideal football schedule. I need to move out west.
Dude, 10 a.m. starts are great on the West Coast.
Sign me up.
It is nice, but so we got the London game at 9:30 in the morning Eastern this week. Panthers minus 2.5 at in quotations Tampa Bay. Totals 47.5. We have the 3-0 second year undrafted.
It's your boy.
Cal Allen.
New man crush developing.
I mean, I'm liking him more by the week. I'm telling you. He's looking good, man. I think we have a quarterback controversy brewing in Carolina when Cam gets healthy here because I suppose he's getting closer and closer. I mean, my question is, do you want to take him out?
4-0, 5-0, depending on how long it takes. I agree.
Do you want to take him out?
Tough to take a guy out like that.
You got Cal Allen.
Tough to sell that to the rest of the team.
Offense is rolling, team's rolling. McCaffrey's just absolutely in beast mode this year. I mean, he is just absolutely crushing it. I mean, there's a lot to love about Carolina as a bettor and as a Carolina fan. This is not in my top 5, but I do like the Panthers to win this week. The only thing that gives me a little bit, I stress a little bit of pause is Tampa Bay they didn't do too bad in New Orleans last week. I'll say this. They actually gave them a run, got a garbage time touchdown late, which burned a parlay for me, so I was pissed about that. But, I don't want to go into that one. But who is Tampa Bay is my thing. You know, like they've looked good at times. They've looked not as bad as they normally do. Winston hasn't been his normal blow-up self. When he does blow up, he just seems to be a little bit starting to make me wonder if there might be a little something in there that Bruce Arians is bringing out of him. So that's the thing that gives me a little bit of pause in this game. To go back to the other side, Carolina did lose at home against Tampa Bay already in a bad weather game with Cam at quarterback. So, I mean, normally it's really hard to sweep a team in the division. So, you have those couple things going for Carolina. So, all those things with Carolina makes me lean Carolina. And I feel like you were kind of on the fence with this one as well, Boof.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the game. I understand all your points. I think I have a little bit more respect for Tampa Bay than you do. An actual pick in this that I find might be worth entertaining is over 47.5. Tampa Bay has actually covered that in all their games, except for the Panthers, so take that for what it's worth. But they covered 47.5 in all of their other games. Yeah. Now, again, that was a Thursday nighter, and again, the weather wasn't great. So, is what it is. I do think their offense has gotten better kind of as the season is going on here under Bruce Arians. So, I think that's definitely part of the puzzle here. Carolina's offense say what you want. Carolina's offense has been better with Kyle Allen in it. So, another reason why I think even in the rematch you see more points. So, I like over 47.5. And that's probably my favorite pick of this game. Not in my top 5 though, but I do like the pick.
Fair enough. All right, we're going to be moving on to the 1 o'clock games now. The first one being the Texans getting 4.5 to 5 points, depending on where you're getting the line at the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, total 54.5 to 55, depending on what book you're looking at. This is a tough game for me because, obviously, it's no secret at this point. Mahomes is man crush number one here. Soon to be Super Bowl champion, MVP of the league.
Is that a this year or is that a just soon in general?
Oh, that's this year.
Okay.
I mean, they may not be undefeated anymore, but that's just because,
Russell Wilson might have something to say about that MVP.
Hey, Russell Wilson's a pretty good player. He's solid, All right.
So I don't want to get off.
Joking aside, hey, he's pretty good too.
Yeah, I don't want to get off.
But, Patty Mahomes is, I think that's your MVP. But anyway, like you said, we're getting diverted here a little bit. I was gonna say I like the Chiefs to win just because I'm so used to saying that. I'm actually a little hesitant with the game this week. I think the Texans are getting their act together a little bit offensively. All the Chiefs' defense is a little improved this year. They're still, they're not world beaters. They're not going to scare you. If you're going to pick this game at all, I would take the over. I see this kind of being trending towards being a shootout, especially with the Texans again. I mean, they looked good offensively last week, more of what you'd expect from Watson and the boys. Will Fuller came off the milk carton, had a big game last week. I believe he was on your bench on Fantasy Booth. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, man. Oh, dude. Yeah. And it's so funny. I'm talking to my buddy about it, and I put in a daily lineup with Will Fuller, but I didn't have the Eagles defense. So I only won $6 on it. And then my regular fantasy team, I thought I had him in, and I look at 5 o'clock, and I forgot T.Y. Hilton was cleared to play, so I put him back in for Fuller, and I had 45 points on the bench. That was horrible.
I was going against Will Fuller, so that didn't make me feel very good in one of my leagues.
Oh my God, yeah,
that sucked.
I'd forgotten about that already. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
You're the best.
It's okay. You'll just win a lot of money this week and forget about all life's problems. And but yeah, it's case in point here. This game could go either way. You have two teams that can really put a lot of points up here. I lean Chiefs to win, just having, with them, the Chiefs being the Chiefs and having the home field advantage. But, not a game I feel comfortable putting in really anything of consequence this week.
Yeah, the other thing about that is we just don't know where Mahomes is with his injury, with his ankle. And it's he's supposed to play and everything. But, I don't know. To me, the Chiefs' woes the last 2 weeks have primarily been Patrick Mahomes related. I feel like he's just missing throws.
He's been a little off. Yeah, a little off. You can tell he's a little banged up.
Yeah, I mean, he's normally right on the money just on every throw in the whole game. You know what I mean? And that has not been the case. He's been a little bit human. And typically I would say he's due to come back and be more Patrick Mahomes-esque. But if there's anything to this injury and he's not fully healthy, I don't know if you can trust that. And they're not just going to come out and say boy, he's banged up. We expect him to kind of suck this week. So,
exactly. You never expect Pat Mahomes to suck.
I just don't think we have good information to go off of
I
here.
Agree.
So I'm afraid of the game. And for me, it's a stay away kind of thing.
Yeah, again, I think the best thing you can do with this game is take the over and take a lot of players in daily fantasy from this game and pick a team. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Take
Will Fuller.
Will Fuller. Oh, shit. All right. We got the next game. We got the Bengals at the Ravens. The Bengals are getting 11.5 points. The total's 48. Their Bengals still don't have A.J. Green back. John Ross is on IR. The Ravens still no Jimmy Smith. So, it's definitely a big deal defensively for them. I mean, the Ravens actually gave up some points and passing yards to the Steelers, second and third string quarterbacks. So they definitely they're not your traditional Ravens defense this year thus far. They definitely don't strike fear in you. They can give up some points. So 11.5 at the Bengals. It's not something you can just take it to the bank. Just more so because of the Ravens secondary. Not necessarily because of the Bengals. But the Bengals suck, so there's that.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That is the thing.
The Bengals are going to lose. It's just a matter of how much.
Yeah.
So
7.5 is a big number.
That's a big number. I lean Ravens laying the points, but too big of a number. Some uncertainties on both sides here, so I could move on from this. There's not really much I love about it.
Yeah, I mean, my initial thoughts when I saw the game were, the Ravens have rolled on the bad teams, and it's been tight, or they have lost against, teams that aren't that bad. And I go back and I look at their schedule, and they beat the Dolphins by, 49. And then the rest of them, they beat the Cardinals, who I think shocked. They beat them by 6. They lose to the Chiefs. They lose to the Browns. And they only beat the Steelers by 3 in overtime.
They're rolled by the Browns.
In a game that they could have lost also. I mean, they could be on a 3-game losing streak very easily here.
Yeah, if it wasn't for a horrible call.
Again, I mean, I think the Bengals are terrible, so I definitely see them winning the game. But, boy, 11.5. If you made me take it, I think I would actually take the Bengals with the points. But I'm not about to trust the Bengals either, so
no,
stay away.
I never want the Bengals on anything of trustworthiness.
Stay away.
Yeah. All right, next game, we got the Seahawks -2 at the Brownies, totals 47. Well, I know we both love this game, Boof.
You got that right.
You got the Seahawks coming in with 10 days rest. Browns coming home from the Monday night beatdown with 6 days rest, coming back from the West Coast. Can't protect Baker worth a shit. Seahawks, big pass rush, looking fantastic this year with, as you said, MVP candidate Russell Wilson. I don't minus. My God, like this line actually opened at Seahawks +2. I mean, obviously the public's on board with this here because this line has swung 4 points towards the Hawks already.
Yeah,
down to -2, and I still love it. I mean,
hell, I wonder field goal.
Yeah, anything field goal or under, I'm still betting the Hawks in this game. I love this game. I love this game. I love this game. I love this game.
So do I. I mean, when I first saw it, it was at +1. That was when I first got to look at it, and I put a parlay in immediately with them. I texted, all my buddies that are into betting and stuff, and I was like, get it while you can, baby, because they were at +1.
Yep.
And I'm happy to have gotten it in then.
I woke up to that text.
That being said, those of you guys that haven't done it yet, they're at -2. I still love it. It's still under a field goal here. I mean, like, what are we? Where does this line even come from? I just don't get it. I don't understand how Cleveland is getting this much love after what happened on Monday night and what has happened throughout the season here.
Yeah, the Seahawks are getting all the advantages.
I mean, they get a nice win against Baltimore, who to me just looks not that good after we see them in the Steelers game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start to think about, where Cleveland's weak and, what they do well, et cetera. And it's like their offensive line has been a question mark all season. The teams that have rushed the passer have really given Baker Mayfield trouble and thus the Browns trouble. And you got Ezekiel Ansah and Jadeveon Clowney that I feel are going to have a field day the same way Nick Bosa was. And the rest of the Niners' defensive line
that front
did
four
on Monday.
Going off.
I just don't see any way that Cleveland wins this game. So I mean, the spread is under a field goal. That's good enough for me. Give it to me. I love the Seahawks -2. This is my favorite pick of the week.
Amen.
And it absolutely is a lock. And let's get that money, baby.
Lock it in, baby.
Get that money.
All right, next game we got the Saints +1 at Jacksonville. Total is 44.5. Ramsey is still quote-unquote questionable with his still sore back, a.k.a. still not sure if he wants to play, a.k.a. still wants traded. Again, broken record, it feels like, the past couple weeks on the podcast. So there's that. Jacksonville defense still solid, but still actually giving up some points here recently. I mean, they gave up 34 to the Panthers last week, gave up 24 to, not a very great Denver offense. Minshew Magic always scares me, though, dude. Like, this is basically at a picking game. Again, Saints are getting that point. So, to me, it's basically, might as well be a damn pick 'em. So, Bridgewater did look good at home against Tampa Bay last week. So, he had his best game since coming back, since his since his big injury a couple years ago. So, I mean, good for him. But I still don't – I have a hard time trusting him on the road against a solid Jacksonville D to lean Saints win here. But with the Saints offense looking good, plus you have Michael Thomas and Kamara, never sleep on those guys. Jacksonville giving up some points, and Jacksonville putting up some points as well with Minshew. I think over 44.5 is actually a pretty solid bet here. It's definitely my favorite bet of the game. I don't really feel super comfortable with anything else. It almost made my top 5, to be honest with you. I like it that much. But beyond that, going either way, team-wise, I'm still kind of iffy. But, like the over here.
Yeah, I don't really like this game very much. If you made me, I think I would take the Jags -1. Just, home field or whatever. But definitely not something I love. I mean, the over 44.5, that's interesting too. But, I mean, 2 games ago, the Saints played in a game that was 12-10, and it's like, I don't know if I want to get involved in that. So, for the most part, this is a stay-away game for me.
Fair enough. All right, we're moving on to the Eagles getting 3 points at the Vikings. Total is 44. This is definitely one of those games that I looked at it and I immediately wanted to go both sides. So automatically, no, stay away. So I can tell you right away, I'm not betting either side of this game. But for those of you who are maybe looking for a little nugget, you're feeling strongly one way or the other, I can offer you an interesting statistic I found that the Vikings are 18-2-1 against the spread as home favorites against non-division opponents. Now, I know that's a mouthful there. Again, that is as home favorites against non-division opponents, which the Eagles are a non-division opponent. They are 18-2-1 against the spread, which is a 90% cover rate. That's for the guys who are advantage players, aka your hardcore, you do a lot of your bets based off of more numbers than anything else. That's some solid data. Now, my eyes tell me that the Eagles have a banged-up secondary, still no Darby. I believe still no Avonte Maddox. They're losing Deshaun Jackson is still doubtful on the offensive side of the ball. They in the end, they handled the Jets pretty easily, but
Jets are the Jets.
The Jets are the Jets, and they didn't really look like world beaters offensively as far as the Philly Eagles there. So, Vikings they're a good defense. They're at home. There's always the Kirk Cousins wild card of I could be good or I could suck. So, all of that leads me to believe if I could see this game going either way, it only being a field goal, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, during our discussion, you brought up that stat that you just mentioned, and for me, it was something that is going to take me away from the Eagles +3, which kind of was my first instinct, if you will, whenever I was going through the lines and doing my own kind of research on the game. But I don't want to go against 18-2-1, so screw that. I'm out. I'm staying away from this game.
He gone. All right, we got the next game, which is the Washington Redskins at the Miami Dolphins. Total is 41, and the Redskins are laying 3.5 points. Might be the only time this season you hear the Redskins laying points.
Probably.
In the crapper game of the week, that's my initial reaction. It's 2 bad teams. We'll beat a dead horse. There are not many things you can count on when 2 bad teams are playing. Sometimes when you think you find something you can count on, remember it's 2 bad teams, and you still can't count on it normally quite as much as you normally would.
What was the lesson we were taught recently here, Nate?
All right, so we loved the, I believe it was the over in the Giants-Redskins game. So we're like, well, I mean, they're 2 bad teams, but they're both scoring points. So, bad, over, easy, boom, lock it in. It was 24-3. It was, after that game, I said to Boof, I'm just like, I am not putting any more crap games like that in my locks at all. No way. No. So, no. Don't do it. don't feel good about anything with this game. If you want to feel freaky, now that's a different story. I do have a freaky parlay where I have taken the Dolphins plus the points, which would be my only mildly, slightly lean. Like if you're putting a feather on a scale type of lean, like it's like a centimeter down lower on the one side. That's my only lean. But beyond that, I don't like this game. You have crap on both sides. You have Colt McCoy probably starting for the Redskins.
We'll see about that. We'll see.
Ish. Okay, either one. The Haskins ain't playing. You have Keenum, who's Colt McCoy is and then the Dolphins as a whole are So,
I'm with you on the crap teams and stay away. Just that being said, I do semi like the Skins minus 3.5. I disagree with you. Like if you were going to make me, I would take the Skins minus 3.5. Miami has lost every game this year by at least 20. Now, sadly, we go and look at the Redskins, and they
lost by 21
they
to
lost
the Giants.
by 26, 21. What do we got? 16, 10, and 5. So at least I got 3 that were under 20. Good enough. Terry McLaurin is playing. I do think that's a big deal for them. If Keenum's back, I think the Redskins are the better team in that case, and I would take them to win. Maybe not by 20. Maybe they only win by 10. We'll slice it in half. Okay, but I still think we have an actual NFL football team versus a non-actual NFL football team. And I like the Skins there.
Well, you're being really nice to the Skins, calling them an NFL football team.
I am, and you know what? Maybe I'll downgrade them to Miami territory when I'm done here. But for now, that would be my pick.
Oh, man. All right. Hey, I can't hate. All right, we're moving on to the 4 o'clock games here. We actually have 4 games on the 4 o'clock slate this week. So I always like seeing
a little more entertainment on Red Zone.
Always like seeing that.
4 o'clock hour.
Hopefully closing out a couple parlays on the 4 o'clock slate as well. So
love being alive when we hit 4 o'clock. Baby.
Love being alive after the 1 o'clock games, baby. Yeah. Love that. All right, so we're moving on to the first game here. We got the 49ers getting 3 points at the Rams. The total was 50.5. I know you've heard me literally since the Monday night game. I've been singing the praises of the 49ers and in particular their defensive line.
Yeah, very impressive.
They were very impressive. I saw just complete and utter domination with their front four rushing the passer against the Brownies. Now I know the Brownies don't have a great offensive line. The thing is,
we got to see them do that to the Steelers as well.
Agreed. I was going to say the thing is, the Rams don't have a great offensive line either.
Agreed. Yeah.
And they're among the younger offensive lines in football.
I think that's one of the biggest issues with them compared to last season.
That and they ain't running the ball well, which again,
where do you
offensive
think
line.
Yeah, where do you think that lands on? Exactly.
So I take those couple things into consideration, and I see a Rams team that hasn't been as dominant this year as they were last year. Goff has had a lot more pressure in his face this year, and big surprise, he has not looked as dominant. He's turned the ball over a lot more.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie, dude. I really like the Niners. It was at +4. I grabbed it earlier this week. I loved it at 4. I still like it at 3. I actually have the Niners in a parlay or 2 on the money line. I feel that good about them. So I think they do a lot of things that are going to give the Rams trouble. So +3 is a nice juicy bet for me here. So I'm rolling with the Niners.
Yeah, and I cannot refute anything that you said. And when I analyze the game and try to keep it logical and everything to me points to the 49ers. To quote the coach of the Steelers, I am absolutely living in my fears here. I am just afraid of the Rams at home still. It's Goff traditionally has been better there, and the Rams in general have been pretty good at home. I don't see them just losing 3 in a row here. So I'm not saying I like the Rams. I'm not telling you to bet on the Rams. I personally am staying away. I am living in my fears on this one. Stay away.
They're my I would say if I had a 6th pick, That'd be my 6th pick this week.
I can't hate it.
I like him.
I don't even disagree with anything you said. I agree with everything you said as far as your reasons.
You just might have Todd Gurley in your fantasy.
It's just I'm just. I had him on the bench last week. That's like yeah, but no. I wish I would have had him in the lineup last week.
17 points.
For me.
That's probably why I did good. You had him on the bench.
Exactly. But, oh well.
Oh well, indeed. All right, we got the Falcons minus 2.5 at the Cardinals. Totals 51.5. Dude, the Falcons got to win a game here, bro. Like they got to, right?
Like, come on.
It's 2.5 points against the suck-ass Cardinals. You still got Julio. You still got Freeman. You still got Matty Ice. Come on, man. There's no way. I say there's no way. There's always a way. But I feel there is no way this week they are losing to the Cardinals. No way. 2.5 points. That is a top 5 bet for me. That is in there. Take the Falcons.
Yeah, I agree. I would actually call it my second favorite pick of the week. And it's more I'm betting against the Cardinals than I am betting on the Falcons. I go back and I look at the schedule and what the Falcons have done this year, kind of trying to support me a little bit, and it doesn't support me at all. It says stay away, blah, blah. But screw that, man. The Cardinals are terrible. They are in a group of 4 that is absolutely the worst 4 teams in the league for me, being the Dolphins, the Redskins, the Cardinals, and the Bengals. Now, the Cards just played the Bengals in a semi-toilet bowl,
which means they're the best of the worst.
If we're gonna call the Skins and the Dolphins the toilet bowl, this is like the semi-toilet bowl. They almost tied each other. I don't know if the Falcons can't win this, man. I might have to downgrade them into that status because this is just ridiculous.
Right?
It's under a field goal. Give me the Falcons. It is my second favorite pick of the week. Obviously, that means it's in my top 5. It's in Nate's top 5. That means we can lock it in. And let's get that money.
Lock that in, baby.
Get that money.
All right, next game. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Jets. Total is 43 points, and the Jets are getting 7 points. Important note, Sam Darnold has been cleared, did practice today, and will start on Sunday. So that is very, very important information. It's definitely an upgrade from third-string trash can Luke Falk, or whatever heck his first name is. I think it's Luke. I know his last name's Falk.
Yes, indeed.
I think Marshall Falk might have been doing a better job playing quarterback than him, but even at his current age.
At least run some Wildcat.
Yeah, even at his current age. But the Jets' offense has been that bad. I literally heard a stat last week that they finally scored their second offensive touchdown of the year. That was in... week 5 last week, right? Yeah, that was week 5. They scored their second offensive touchdown.
It's so bad.
That's really, really bad. Unbelievably bad. I think even bringing Sam Darnold back, that helps their offense somewhat. But again, how good is Sam Darnold? Everyone's acting like he's a damn Pro Bowl quarterback coming back here, and he's still a young quarterback who hasn't proven much in this league. He's going to be an upgrade over what they've had, but I don't think their offense is going to go out there and put up 3 or 4 touchdowns. So I don't think it's an upgrade, but not as much as people might think. You still have no Mosley on defense, which is a big hit in the run game as far as stopping Zeke, and also in the pass game covering Witten. So then you have Gallup coming back last week for the Cowboys, looking pretty good. So you got him and Cooper on the outside. I think the Cowboys get healthy this week. I think they have a nice, comfy 10, 14-point victory. So I feel pretty comfortable laying the 7 with the Cowboys. They're in my top 5.
Yeah, this was a fringe one for me. My concern is some of the injuries with Dallas. They've got 3 offensive linemen that are all questionable. I know Tyron Smith and La'el Collins did not practice this week. That's both of their tackles. Leighton Vander Esch also did not practice. He's got an illness of some sort. And
little sniffles. He'll be all right.
Yeah, these are all important players, so it gives me cause for concern. But again, I'm kind of with Nate. This is another one. I'm betting against the Jets. I think the Jets just stink, and I don't think Sam Darnold does that much for them just by him coming back. So they are also in my top 5. They are my 5th, but they are in the top 5. They're in Nate's as well. That makes them a lock. Give me the Cowboys -7.
Lock him in, baby.
Lock it in.
Get that money.
All right, the last of the 4 o'clock games. We have the Titans getting 2 points at the Broncos. Total is 39. We'll keep this short and sweet. It's Marcus Mariota. Don't know what you're going to get. It's Joe Flacco. Sucks. Actually had a good game last week. Broncos haven't won at home yet this year, so you'd think that they could/should, but will they? Are they as good as we think they are? Are the Titans not as bad as we think they are, or might be? This is just one of those, like, I can give you reasons on both sides who could win this game. And then you add in the extra factors we've outlined over previous podcasts with the Broncos and the Titans and their issues. So I just, pass. Don't want any of it. Stay away. Don't tease it. Don't do anything. Stay away.
Yeah, I hate this game. That's all.
That is all. Short and sweet, baby. All right, on to the Sunday night game. We got the Steelers getting 6.5 points at the Los Angeles Chargers. Total is 41 points. So a couple things about this game. Mason Rudolph did practice this week. He has not been cleared yet. He's still in concussion protocol. So it does look like Devlin Duck Hodges, the rookie undrafted free agent out of Samford, is expected to start. I've actually said this to Boofy when we signed him to our practice squad. I actually am from Latrobe. I grew up near Steelers training camp. I saw Hodges in training camp, and I was like, I'll tell you what, Boof, like, I think I like this Hodges guy. He doesn't look too damn bad. And then we cut him. I was like, oh, well, okay, whatever. And then we traded Dobbs, signed him back to the practice squad. I was like, hey, Boof, signed him back on. All right. And then, Ben gets hurt. Boom, Mason's in there. All right, Mason doesn't look too bad. Might be the future. Boom, Mason gets hurt. And then Duck comes in. For those who don't know, his nickname is Duck because he's a state champion duck caller.
World class.
Which is such a random fact about a guy. Is a champion duck caller. So he's got
even know what that means.
The nickname Duck.
Just walk around quacking.
Dude, I really hope they do the Mighty Ducks like quack 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 thing at Heinz Field. That'd be fantastic. But so yeah, I mean, you start to dive in on this guy's history. I mean, he was the 2018 Walter Payton Award winner, which is the given out to the top player in FCS. He actually broke a 25-year-old passing mark, breaking Steve McNair. So I'm sure that's a familiar name to y'all. Steve McNair's all-time passing record, throwing for over 14,000 yards in his career. And then you hear guys like Bud Dupree saying, like, dude, like, this dude was torching our ass in training camp and in practice. Like, we actually really, really like him. We think he's really good. So you start to hear things like that, and you're like, man, do we have a potential, Hollywood movie in the making thing going on here?
Yeah.
Obviously, the fan in me hopes so, but
yeah, exactly.
It's one of those things. I mean, he did. He came in. You hear all those things, and then he comes in.
You see it happen, though.
Yeah, he came in. Honestly, we should have won the damn game. Led us down the field for a touchdown drive when he came in. We should have beat the Ravens. So all those, 6.5 points is a lot. The Chargers are a very, very banged up team. We've beat that horse to death the last couple weeks. They haven't looked good. Phillip Rivers looks old. 6.5 points is a lot. I mean, I'm not going to go as far, but like Steelers definitely win, Yinzer Nation, blah, blah, blah. But 6.5 points is a lot. I like that a lot. It's in my top 5. I think our defense is way too good. So give me the Steelers here with the points.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'll just kind of add to a couple of the things that you already hit on. To be a little bit more specific about the Chargers' injury situation, Melvin Ingram is still out. Russell Okun is still out. Mike Pouncey, another offensive lineman for them, was placed on injured reserve. He's out. Hunter Henry is still questionable. They're still missing all these receivers.
Still not playing, by the way. Hunter Henry is out this week.
Okay, so So Hunter Henry is out. And you go back and you look at the schedule here. The Steelers have covered 6.5 against everybody except for New England in Week 1. And the Chargers have not covered 6.5 against everybody except for their college matchup with the Dolphins. So I agree. I like the Steelers plus 6.5. And they are in my top 5. And they're also in Nate's. That means it's a lock. So let's lock it in.
Lock it in, baby.
Get that money.
All right, next game. We moving on to the Monday night game. We got the Lions getting 4 points at the Packers. Total is 47. So my knee-jerk reaction with this game, with how much the Lions have been kind of a pain in my ass all year, is take the Lions with the points. They beat the Eagles straight up. They crapped a game away against the Cardinals and tied. That's kind of an outlier in the other way. Then they covered against the Chiefs, which is definitely one in the other way. So, I mean, as a whole, it's been more good than bad with the Lions, which is there's not too many seasons where you can actually say that. I think they're starting to figure some stuff out. Matt Stafford has kind of a running game and kind of a defense. I say kind of. I mean, it's they're not top 5, but upper middle. I mean, they've become a solid team. They can be a pain in the ass team. But then the flip side of that is the Packers have looked pretty good.
2 weeks in a row.
Put it on the Cowboys
Impressive,
at home last
week.
week.
Yeah, I felt like that was a very impressive win.
Indeed. And then Boofy tells me that it's like, well, Nate, I hear you with the Packers and I hear you with the Lions, but one extra nugget here is, well, I'll let you say it. I'm going to steal your thunder here.
Yeah, this is just a sneaky one. The Lions have actually beaten the Packers the last 4 times that they've played.
Yeah, who'd have thought that?
They're a division opponent, and they have swept them the last 2 years.
Which is crazy.
So, I think Rodgers was injured for a couple, but the Lions you think of as this terrible team, and they've beaten the Packers the last 4 times they've played each other.
And now the Lions don't suck.
Yeah,
so.
now the Lions are a team that you might have some faith in. So I don't know. It's still on the road at Green Bay. It's still Rodgers. Monday night, all that stuff. I do entertain it. I if I'm putting together something, I probably am going to take the Lions +4, but it's not top 5able for me.
I'm with you.
I was kind of messing around with that. I was thinking about maybe the Bucs and the Panthers over, but I landed on the Cowboys as my last top 5er. But I don't know. It's still on the road at Green Bay. I know they've won the last 4. But
this is one of those games for me where if the Lions cover or win, even more so win, then I think I've finally seen enough to move them up a level.
Agreed. Yeah, this is to me kind of your chance to go get yourself a nice signature win.
Yep. Division
game on the road.
Yep.
And hell, you've already done it 4 times in a row. Let's do it in a 5th one in a game that matters.
Yeah. Indeed. So, but so I think I
definitely think they're capable.
But yeah, basically what we've landed on here is we lean Lions, but we need to see a little bit more.
I would like to feel better about it.
A little bit more. So
this is more of a gut thing than a
analytical. Let's be real. We're still a little scared of Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
I mean, even though we say don't be as scared of Aaron Rodgers, we're still a little scared of Aaron Rodgers.
He's looked a little better the last 2 weeks.
He looked pretty good last week.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's adding to the fear.
Yep.
We are living in our fears with the Packers.
That was not Adams last week.
Indeed.
So.
Indeed. All right, so that wraps up this week's slate of games here. So just to do a little top 5 recap for both of us. We both have the same exact top 5.
Yeah, first time. This would be the first time in the 3 years that we've been doing this that we had the exact same top 5.
There wasn't even much debate.
I know we'll copy each other's stuff sometimes, but that's not necessarily we just do that just cause.
Yeah.
But
there wasn't even much debate this week. I mean, that's a very rare thing. If it's happened before, I can't remember the last time it's happened.
I'll put a small asterisk. The Cowboys is the one I feel the least good about, but oh well, they're in it.
Indeed. I feel better.
I feel good enough that they're in it.
I feel more better about it. More better.
Most goodest.
More better. Most goodest. But just to recap our top 5, we got the Pats under 42. We got the Seahawks -2. We got the Falcons -2.5. The Cowboys -7. And the Steelers +6.5. We are in total agreement on our top 5 this week. So that means you got 5 locks on the week.
Get that money.
Let's go 5-0 this week, baby.
Let's go 5-0 and let's get that money, baby.
Let's get that money. All right, Boof, good luck. Let's get that money.
Thank you, sir. Good luck, and good luck to all of our listeners.
Get that money.
Get that money.
Get that money.